Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park. Engines already fired here as we are getting set to go with day number 3 of the event here, the penultimate weekend on the 2020 Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The opportunity to say hello to everyone tuning in here on the Road to Indy TV app, the YouTube channel, or of course on either of the series websites, USF2000.com in this case, as drivers have rolled out here to get things underway. My name's Rob Howden, and we are in for what could be an interesting day. Cloud cover right now here in Millville, New Jersey, about 64 degrees ambient temperature. But a quick scan on the afternoon schedule, the afternoon forecast, 60% chance of rain at 3 o'clock, 70% at 4 o'clock, 90% at 5 o'clock. That would be right into the end of the day, and we may see ourselves with a wet weather race for both USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000 to cap things off. And what that kind of has done, if you tuned it all in to the show yesterday, we talked about the fact that this track, pretty hard on these Cooper tires, a lot of tire degradation. The teams were being smart in terms of holding back on tires, not quite sure when they were going to go on tires. Not many teams did double sticker tire runs in qualifying. Well, when you lose a session, and we're going to be going to rains potentially this afternoon, that opens things up for this particular qualifying session and race number 2. Watch the number of drivers roll out with sticker tires here to start off this qualifying session. Again, qualifying for race 2 now on a track. Right in front of me here on pit lane, Jay Howard Driver Development. They've laid out new sticker Coopers as well for Christian Rasmussen, the point leader. Christian finishing second yesterday. Eduardo Barrichello with the win, clawing back some points in the championship battle there. Reese Gold had some issues. Finished, I believe, 13th position. Not a great run for Reese Gold trying to win a championship. He has to turn things around here today. Qualifying will be crucial, and so there's a possibility of drivers using more of these fresh tires. Could shake things up a bit here in qualifying. Just getting things underway, of course, a 20-minute session. Give these guys a couple laps to kind of get things dialed in here a little bit, get some heat built into these tires, and we'll let you know where people are sitting in terms of time. Potential high of about 71 degrees midday, but it's going to cool off again with that rain. So qualifying for USF 2000 on the racetrack right now, 10:45 scheduled start time for Indy Pro 2000 qualifying. Right at noon, USF 2000 will run its second race, 2 o'clock for race number 2 for Indy Pro, and then right into that wet weather, the potential, let's say potential for wet weather, 3:45 start time for race 3 of USF 2000, and 5 o'clock when it's essentially 90% chance of rain. That'll be the final event of the weekend, race number 3 for Indy Pro 2000. So we are very likely going to see some wet weather racing, which I think is exciting. I like to see which drivers can dial things in the challenging conditions. Again, New Jersey Motorsport Park running the Thunderbolt course here at the racetrack. 2 different circuits here, both the Thunderbolt track and the Lightning circuit. National level, international level, actually, karting facility here as well. 2.25 miles, 12 corners, a lot of high-speed, sweeping, kind of carousels and quick corners here. That's what's so tough on the tires, a lot of sustained lateral Gs. Half-mile long straightaway up front. Coming out of turn number 10, you got to get back on the throttle there. That takes you all the way down to 1. Not a lot of passing opportunities here. That's the key to this racetrack. We saw really only maneuvers over in turn number 1, and it's aggressive. You have to make a big dive bomb move to the outside, or the inside. We saw a lot of outside moves as well. Drivers holding the line on the outside and then getting up over turn number 2 and holding that spot. Cameron Shields now has worked his way to the top of the charts. The driver from Toowoomba, Australia for D-Force Racing. Cameron's kind of dialed things in since moving over to D-Force and has had some really strong results. Currently P1 with a 118.135. Jack William Miller, P2, in the Miller Vinatieri Motorsports number 40, the Loomis-sponsored USF2000. Matt Roungarito from England now up into the third spot. Reese Gold knocks him down to P4 as Gold goes third, 118.544. I would expect that some of the drivers out there on used tires to get a feel for the racetrack will then come in, make adjustments, potentially put on fresh rubber. As I said, new Cooper tires laid out in front of me here for Christian Rasmussen when he's ready to roll in. Christian just moved to P2. So with a high potential for rain in round number 3, that's going to give these teams an opportunity to use up their fresh tires here for qualifying 2 and race 2. Of course, the grid for race 3 will be set by the times from race 2. So crucial for those drivers to lay down a good lap time. Shields, Roungarito, Rasmussen, Miller, and Reese Gold, the current top 5. Christian Bogle runs 6th. Christian Brooks in 7th. Nolan Siegel 8th. Prescott Campbell 9th. And Josh Pearson now rounding out the top 10. Mentioned this a couple times during the day, but we'll send a shout out to Jacob Loomis, one of our drivers in the Indy Pro 2000 category, not here with us running into Indy Pro 2000. He actually was at Road America this weekend and scored an SCCA National Championship running in the Formula X category in his Formula Mazda car. So kudos to Jacob for that SCCA runoffs victory. Hope to see Jacob back at St. Petersburg. It's been a kind of half-season competitor with us here this year. Cameron Shields still P1, 118.006 for Shields. Here comes Rasmussen, the Danish driver leading the points. 7 wins here in 2020. The first 6 in a row, and then finally able to essentially stop the bleeding of what was a really tough midseason run that saw his championship lead shrink down to next to nothing. A win at Mid-Ohio at the back end of that triple header. And then second place yesterday, and to be honest, he and Christian Brooks getting together on the final lap. Brooks went around the outside. Sounds like Rasmussen with a little bit of a handful of a race car on the inside, trying to hold that inside line, and got into Christian, and they went off track, or at least Christian went off track. Brooks off track, and Rasmussen able to hold on to second. And you think about what the ramifications could have been in that particular situation. Of course, you know Rasmussen's a racer, pushing hard. Because when you're in a championship battle like that, had they got together and went off, that would have had been an absolute disaster for Rasmussen. Would have allowed Eduardo Barrichello, who stormed away to the win, would have allowed him the opportunity to really close up on the championship points. Number of drivers coming in here: Josh Green, Michael D'Orlando, who finished 3rd yesterday, was gifted 3rd after that incident between Brooks and Rasmussen. Nolan Siegel into pit lane. Eduardo Barrichello as well. Man, everybody coming into pit lane. Cameron Shields up top, 118.006 for Shields. Gold, Reese Gold 2nd. Jack William Miller to 3rd. Josh Pearson now up to the 4th spot. Great run here for Josh Pearson. Driver out of Oregon in the number 16 for Exclusive Autosport, a 118.364. Still 11 minutes remaining. Fresh tires on the car of Christian Rasmussen, and he's heading back out. Sticker Coopers. New rubber going on the number 9 of Nolan Siegel as well. Fresh rubber as well for yesterday's winner, Eduardo Barrichello, I believe. Yep. D-Force drivers coming in here as well. Nico Christodoulou and Cameron Shields. Shields still provisional pole. Up top of the 118.006. Shields, Gold, Miller, Pearson, and Roungarito. Wyatt Prokacek in 6th. Christian Rasmussen 7th. Prescott Campbell 8th. Christian Brooks in 9th. And Christian Bogle 10th. Siegel sits 11th. Michael D'Orlando 12th. Eduardo Barrichello in 13th. Nico Christodoulou in 14th. Yuvan Sundermurthy in 15th. Kent Vaccaro 16th. And I didn't see a time yet for Josh Green and Kyle Dupel. Let's walk over here quickly and have a look down in the Cape Motorsports pit area. As I said, I don't think we've got a time laid down yet by Green or Dupel. Might have been waiting till late in the session. Nobody down there in pit lane right now, so we'll have a look. So drivers back out with fresh rubber. Shields with the provisional pole right now. 9 minutes remaining in this 20-minute session. Indy Pro 2000 drivers will be back on the racetrack as well at 10:45. All three exclusive Autosport drivers rolling out. There's Kyle Dupel there coming across the line now for the first time potentially. So wait for the drivers to dial things in here now. Christian Rasmussen out quickly. Here goes Nolan Siegel now. He's rolling. Looks like potentially one or two cars still on pit lane. One of the D-Force drivers still there, as is one of the drivers from Miller Vinatieri Motorsport. Another one of the drivers from J. Howard Driver Development rolling down here. That's the 5 of Brakacic. So we'll get him here on fresh rubber as well. 1:18.006, Cameron Shields, fast time. 700s quicker than Reese Gold in the 1:18.081. Jack William Miller sits third. Josh Pearson in fourth. Matt Round-Garrido fifth. Solid opening laps of the session for Josh Pearson, rookie driver this year. Number 2 of Josh Green rolling by start finish. And again, Green and Dupel just getting their first laps in. They waited for the first half of the session, did not go out. You got to figure tire allotment there for those drivers, potentially using fresher rubber, maybe on 2 occasions for race number 1, so saving a set here. Just getting that 1 sticker tire run from those drivers. Rasmussen now the first driver in the 117s. A 117.942 for Christian Rasmussen. Point leader. Second place yesterday. Eduardo Barrichello, though, sweeping the day, all 33 points. Closing to within 42 points back. It's really coming down to a 3-driver battle in this championship. Michael D'Orlando and Christian Brooks kind of on the outside looking in. They would need to win a couple of races here in a row to get things dialed in, but all bets are off, and we head to the streets of St. Petersburg because anything can happen at a street course race, and that could blow things wide open in terms of the championship. D'Orlando now to the top of the charts. A 117.889 for Michael D'Orlando, but Rasmussen returns the favor down to a 117.533. Rasmussen, Barrichello now up to second. D'Orlando third, Shields fourth, Reese Gold fifth. Watch for the exclusive Autosport drivers to turn things up here on this next lap. Should be one of their opportunities to get a good lap in. Pearson ninth now off the time he set in the first half of the session. Prescott Campbell, strong fifth-place run for Prescott yesterday. The best we've seen him run this year. Top five. Battling it out late in the run with Cameron Shields. We've got a red flag here late in this session. Wow, this blows things open. Exclusive Autosport drivers, I don't think we're able to get that one lap they needed in, and we have a red flag driver off the racetrack. That's over, I believe, between turn 5 and 6. A driver inside to driver's right. Oh, that hurt a lot of people. Brooks, Campbell, Pearson not able to get a fast lap. Dupel only got 2 laps in the books as well. Kyle Dupel. The exclusive Autosport drivers were on the flyer at that point. They were coming around to get their first flying lap. Same went with Kyle Dupel. So all 4 of those drivers. Oh yeah, that's damage. That's right rear damage to that car. Not sure which driver that potentially is. Could be Kyle Dupel. Of course, all drivers will head back to pit lane here, and that's the issue here. This isn't just a tow. They're going to have to pick him up, and we're down to 4.5 minutes now. Listen, there's a possibility we'll go red and shut the clock down. I'm gonna look at the clock. I think they're shutting the clock. We have enough time built into the schedule. It's 20 minutes guaranteed green flag running, I believe. So that potentially was contact between Jack William Miller and Kyle Dupel. But that was an inopportune time for all 3 of the drivers from Exclusive Autosport, as they had just gone out. They really hadn't had that flying lap yet on those tires. Now they're going to have to go back out again, get those tires up to temperature, and then get a good lap. There's the opportunity to get that magic lap on lap 3 or lap 4 taken from them, so they're going to really have to put their head down in the final 4.5 minutes as they have shut the clock down. Front cowl coming off of the number 6 for Jay Howard, driver development driver Christian Rasmussen. They're going to make some adjustments to the front of the car. Rear adjustment for Nolan Siegel. Don't see any work being done on Brkacek or the Paps cars of Barrichello, Round Garrido, Sundar Murthy. So indeed being told that the incident between Kyle Dupel and Jack William Miller will be under review after the session. Obviously not something you should see in a qualifying run, to have damage like that. Left rear suspension damage, significant damage to the machine of Kyle Dupel. A couple different camera angles on that one for using the circuit cameras that they do have here. That you can see Kyle Dupel walking his way back to the safety vehicle to come back to pit lane. Dupel had just set his fast lap. So he only got 2 laps in. They waited again, as I said, to the second half of the session. Dupel had just put his second lap in, so just like the Exclusive Autosport drivers, was just getting ready to get that 3rd lap, that flying lap. Dupel, of course, will lose that fast lap. He drops all the way to 18th. Bring out the red flag, lose your fast lap, and so Dupel's going to start the second race of the weekend from 18th position outside of the 9th row at the tail of the field. Here's your top 10 right now as we get set to go back to green once they get that car of Dupel's off the racetrack. Christian Rasmussen, a 117.533. Cameron Shields had advanced up to second, a 1:17.734. Eduardo Barrichello, 1:17.737. Michael D'Orlando, P4 to 1:17.8. 4 drivers able to break that 1:18 mark. Reese Gold in the 5th spot. Even Sundar Murthy in 6th. Josh Green 7th. Matt Round Garrido 8th. Jack William Miller 9th. And on the strength of his solid lap in the opening half, Josh Pearson in 10th position in the number 16. Wyatt Prokachik in 11th. Prescott Campbell 12th. Christian Brooks 13th. Christian Bogle 14th. Nolan Siegel in the 15th spot. Nico Christodoulou in 16th. Kent Vaccaro 17th. And Kyle Dupel, as I had said, has dropped down into the 18th position. The AMR IndyCar safety team having a look at the racetrack, getting all the pieces cleaned up from the damaged car of Kyle Dupel. That's from the rundown from 5 over to turn number 6. Leading into that kind of right-hand kink that heads over to the 7, 8, 9, 10 complex. Rasmussen with the fastest lap. Of course, they made an adjustment to the car of Rasmussen as well. Silence coming on to the pit lane here. A little speedy dry going down, so obviously some fluid onto the racetrack as well down there in turn number 5 and 6. So the safety team will get that cleaned up. We'll get back at it. Again, as I said, clock stopped. 4.5 minutes remaining. I think when the drivers roll back out onto the racetrack here and we go back to green, it's going to be 1:20 to get around on cold tires. You're going to get down to about 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. You got to expect they may be able to get 3 flying laps in if you sneak in under the wire. It's going to be 2 or 3 flying laps. So again, this red flag really catching out a number of drivers who have not been able to turn that second fast lap. I don't think Wyatt Prokachik was able to get a lap in either. Christian Bogle, I think they were at the tail of the changes down here for Jay Howard Driver Development in terms of when they came in to get tires. So they were probably just starting to dial things in as well. Wet weather looks like it's on the way for the third rounds for both USF2000 and Indy Pro. 60% chance of rain arriving here around 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock, it's 90%. So you got to think we are for sure going rain for Indy Pro 2000, the last race of the day. And that will definitely make things interesting. Intriguing, of course, as part of this championship battle to see who can rise to the occasion in what will be unbelievably challenging conditions. This is a very, very fast racetrack. And a high-speed track like this in the wet, man, that makes things tough. But looking forward to seeing who masters those conditions. Drivers all still belted into the cars, getting ready to go. We're just waiting for this cleanup to get completed. Those of you watching here on the Road to Indy TV app or on the coverage, you can see that Kyle Dupel's machine up on the hook and now getting brought behind the wall. They'll get him back to the pit area, back to the paddock quickly to get that car repaired for race number 2. Looks like there was quite a bit of fluid laid down. You can see how much work they're doing to get that speedy dry down. Let's have a look at the championship battle as well. Christian Rasmussen coming into race number 2 and 3 here today. 312 points. Reese Gold, 279. So a 33-point lead for Christian Rasmussen over Reese Gold. 42 points over Eduardo Barrichello, who has 270. Add another 34 for Michael D'Orlando, and another 16 after that for Christian Brooks. Top 5 drivers, mathematically, I think can still do it, but again, it's going to have to have extraordinary circumstances for those drivers to be able to find themselves in St. Petersburg with a chance on winning this title. Kyle Dupel just now entering pit lane. They'll get him back, of course, as I said, to the paddock area. The team gets to go to work on that one. I'll have a look as they come by here. And yeah, a lot of speedy dry going down over in turn number 5 and 6, the run to 6. So just the left rear damage from what I can see on Kyle Dupel. Great race yesterday here in USF2000, and probably better, I think, than most of us would have expected. There's just not a lot of opportunity to overtake here at New Jersey Motorsports Park on this Thunderbolt layout, but we had some really aggressive racing. The opening laps were good. Some issues, obviously, for Reese Gold. He was going backwards, and that kind of shook things up a little bit. Eduardo Barrichello, though, absolutely perfect out front. No mistakes whatsoever. Got fast lap of the race as well, a 1:18.267. That gave him the bonus point. Led the most laps, obviously, green to checker. Qualified on pole, won the race. 33 points for Eduardo Barrichello. Christian Rasmussen chased him aggressively throughout most of the race, but fell back late and then got into that scrap with Christian Brooks, who had closed up to him. Contact between those two drivers on the last lap in turn one sent Brooks off the racetrack. Able to control it, and D'Orlando sliding through for third. Brooks holding on to P4. Prescott Campbell, a really good run in fifth. He had one moment over in turn number 3 where he dipped the left rear off into the grass, almost looped it, but controlled it. And that put him into some serious pressure from Cameron Shields. Jack William Miller ended up in the 7th spot, alone on the racetrack. Matt Garrido was 8th, Nolan Siegel 9th, and Yuvan Sundermurthy rounding out the top 10. Man, a lot of work being done in that corner still. They're definitely being diligent on making sure they get this cleaned up, because this is taking quite a while here, and you can see how much speedy drive they're laying down on the inside of that racetrack. Of course, drivers transitioning from the right of the track to the left of the track as they come through there. I don't think that's really going to be in anybody's driving line at this point. The drivers have already come far to the left side of the racetrack to set up for turn number 6. And I'm sure that race control will be having a look at the video on that. Obviously, an incident in qualifying, not something you ever want to see. Drivers should be spacing themselves out and not taking any chances for contact. There's zero need for contact in a qualifying session. So again, Rasmussen with the fast time. 0.2 of a second clear right now, 1:17.533. He was able to maximize and get into that lap 3, lap 4 run on the fresh tires, as was Cameron Shields and Eduardo Barrichello. Barrichello and Shields separated by just 0.03 of a second, a 1:17.734 for Shields, a 7.37 for Barrichello. And again, bonus point up for grabs here in qualifying, crucial. Barrichello wants to steal that back again. Reese Gold was P5, half a second back right now. I don't know that Gold was able to get his fast lap in, 1:18.081, as only 4 drivers able to break the 1:18 barrier. Checkered flag on the session. So there was 4.5 minutes remaining, but I guess we've got to the end. They are going checkered flag on this session, and that is horrible for the exclusive Autosport crew, who just weren't able to get that one extra lap in. I thought we were going to have 4.5 laps going, but we are not. Track looking like it's almost cleared up. And that is going to end things for this session. Ouch. Christian Brooks, who has been quick all weekend, 13th on the racetrack. This should be interesting. The drivers to watch in this race for sure, because there's some guys that have quick race cars starting deeper in the field. Josh Pearson, 10th. Prescott Campbell, 12th, and Christian Brooks in 13th. Remember, Campbell and Brooks, 5th and 4th, respectively, yesterday. They're starting all the way back on row 6 and row 7. So we'll keep an eye on them. That is a rough proposition for both those drivers. And then again, thinking about the rain coming this afternoon. Hey, Christian Rasmussen's going to take this for sure, though, 1:17.533. He's more than happy to grab a bonus point, stretch that point lead out a little bit more. Cameron Shields will be on the outside of the front row alongside Rasmussen. It'll be Barrichello and D'Orlando on row 2. Gold and Sundermurthy on row 3. Josh Green and Matt Garrido on row 4. Jack William Miller and Josh Pearson will round out the top 10. Brkachik and Campbell on row 6. Brooks and Bogle row 7. Siegel and Christodoulou row 8th, and Vaccaro and Dupel on row number 9. Not the finish we wanted to see in qualifying for USF2000, but it's the finish that we got after the incident between Jack William Miller and Kyle Dupel over in turn number 5 and 6. So that caps off our first show here in the morning from New Jersey Motorsports Park here on the Road to Indy TV app. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're back at 10:45, qualifying for race 2 for Indy Pro 2000. Make sure you join us there as well. And again, on behalf of Anderson Promotions and everybody at Road to Indy TV, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.